topic here, which is the Flash movie, and we finally got a full look at Supergirl's costume, and we have more set pictures, which showed us Barry in a suit, and we saw Flash's ring, and we saw
Yeah.
Michael Keaton as Batman. Well, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne. So his hairstyle is
Yeah.
basically the same as he had in the '89 movie. And Barry looks really good. I think he is wearing his father's suit. Um,
Did you take my theory, Kirsty?
yeah, yeah. Well, it does look like an old suit, and it
Yeah, it
looks
looks
yeah.
yeah
So
big. Looks big on him.
yeah, it looks very big on him. So and the hairstyle is from the Snyder cut. He has the Snyder cut. And
Yeah.
it's pretty good seeing him again here on the set. Of course, they are in front of a courthouse, so people are speculating that this is probably about Henry's trial. Uh, but I think the best thing out of these pictures is definitely Supergirl and her costume. I really liked
Oh
it,
my god.
and I know this is a stunt suit or whatever, and she's wearing a harness inside or whatever. But I'm a really big
Mm-hmm.
fan of the pants. I I love that, and I do like the design, and I probably would have toned down the red on top a little bit, from the sleeves, but I do still like
Mm-hmm.
it. But I still want to see it, with a cape to, finally see its true color and everything. For now, I really like it, and I love her hairstyle. She just looks amazing.
Oh my god. I know.
She just looks like the perfect casting already.
Well, I noticed that because I think I was at work when it dropped, and someone like made a good point that they kept like the elm. I'm sorry, I can't talk. The el-
Emblem?
sorry.
Emblem.
It's yeah. From Man
Yeah.
of Steel, so it's like literally like the same like suit, and like I think I don't know. I really think if that's the case, it's gonna be such a missed opportunity if the two of them don't eventually meet. And like, I need Man of Steel 2 with the two of them. Like someone like that had like the perfect concept. I think it was like Henry Superman and Sasha Supergirl with like
Yeah.
Brainiac in like Man of Tomorrow, and I was just like, oh my god! And I was like, I need that right now. It's like Warner Brothers, stop being stupid. Make it right now.
People are saying that
I don't
Superman
know.
is going to show up in this movie, and that would be cool if they meet. But I think,
I don't know if that's gonna
yeah,
happen.
I think a
I
more,
don't know.
a cooler thing to happen would be Henry showing up in her solo movie. I think that would give her.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think he should be, that big of a role in that movie, because it's her movie, obviously. But I think there could be just a um, cameo where how this CW show did or used to do with Superman. He just used to come in and say that, "Oh, Kara, you can
Yeah, I
handle
think
it," and go away.
mm, I, thi- I think you use it for marketing more than
Yeah,
anything else. Because like an unknown character. I think some of these movies do really well in that when an unknown character, the marketing is important because you propel. If Henry Cavill was in that, people would go see Henry Cavill, but they would come away raving about Sasha Calle as Supergirl. But I think that what's happening with the Flash movie is that people are going to see the Flash. People are going to see Michael Keaton's return, but they'll actually come away talking about her performance as Supergirl, which will automatically hype people up for her solo
yeah,
movie. So I don't think that you
Yeah,
necessarily need Henry in her
yeah,
solo movie because people are going to be hyped from this movie because Michael Keaton Flash is in it, and then she's
yeah.
amazing. So
I mean, it would make like perfect sense if Henry did show up in like her solo movie or like a cameo. But like, I feel like if he was gonna make a cameo, it's probably gonna be in Shazam, like a lot of people are
Hmm.
saying, because like you saw what in Shazam 2 for Fury of the Gods. So I don't know. I could see it happening. If he was gonna make a cameo in anything, I think it would be that before the Flash, and that's just me. But I don't know. Like I was gonna say too, like I don't know if like Sasha got confirmed to get a solo movie. Like is that confirmed or is that just like
that's the
speculation
bottom.
right now?
Yeah, it was in the Hollywood Reporter an article saying it was a list of movies that are in development for solo movies, but development at DC and Warner Brothers doesn't mean anything because movies get cancelled and announced all the
Yeah.
time. So, but it was in an article said that it's in development. But I think if she's received well on this and this movie does well, I think they'll greenlight it straight away
I
a
think,
solo movie for
yeah,
her.
I think I agree with you, and I think that it's a no-brainer. Why would you cast Supergirl just for a cameo in Flash? I think they were
Yeah.
always gonna make that solo Supergirl movie, but they just want to introduce her in this movie. Just to have that extra. Oh, I know that character. So I think the solo movie is definitely happening with
Yeah.
her. That's the reason I think they cast her. And it would be
Hmm.
cool to see who writes that movie and who directs it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Edit says the suit looks good, to be honest, and will definitely improve with CGI. That's the thing, because a lot of these set photos for films, the suits look terrible. But here, the suit actually looks
Yeah.
pretty good. So imagine this with CGI added to it. And we'll talk about Zachary Levi's Shazam suit, because we talked about it last week. The set photo looked pretty cool, looked pretty badass. Now, the finished, complete shot from David Sandberg is even better. It's perfect. So I'm looking forward to that. I think Ezra looks he looks innocent. He looks cute. People really like him, that kind of way. So I think he just looks great as Barry Allen. So looking forward to seeing his continuation from the Snyder Cut. And Michael Keaton back with sporting a Batman Beyond look. Of course, he trained in the Batman Beyond, trained Terry McGinnis. Maybe they're eyeing up for that, where he trains a Batgirl or Terry McGinnis in future movies. But yeah, it's cool to see him back, and we're probably going to see Michael Keaton in the Batsuit as well. I think we will. I think he'll have a large role in the movie, and I think it's going to be mostly him and Ezra throughout the buddy
I
cop
hope so.
superhero type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully,
Yeah, I
but
hope
I
so.
think Tasha Khaled looks amazing. I think hopefully she can act. I haven't seen her act yet.
I'm sure she'll do fine. I mean, Andy Muschietti put that video of the announcement out, and that instantly sold me on her. And I was like, yes, she is definitely gonna play a good Supergirl. However, yes, it also depends on the writing and directing. So we'll have to wait and see who does that.
Somebody want to explain to me who's not a comic book reader why does Flash wear a ring?
Well, I believe it could have started in the comics, but like I know they started to really do it in like the DC AU movies. That like they kind of like put his suit in the ring to like change quicker kind of thing. I don't know when that started in the comics or if it is in the comics because I'm not
I think it
too
is.
knowledgeable on Flash comics. But I always thought that was such a cool little detail, and I'm so glad that they're having that in the Flash. Like it's like I said, it's such a simple detail, but like seeing that ring, it's like, oh my god, that's where it's or like the little Flash sneakers he had too on in the set pics. So like it's like little details like that like means like everything. But it's like little things like that you can point out and be so excited for.
I actually
Yeah,
think that his suit won't be in the ring because that's something that's something establishing a rule in this universe because you have a whole suit fit in this tiny little space, so that should apply to everything else, right? And how do you explain that technology?
seems
Well,
seems a little bit too cheesy for live action.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just a person that doesn't really. The thing you have to say when if like let's say that does happen though, is his suit in there? Like you just have to say it's a comic book movie. It's not supposed to be like if there was logic in it, like a lot of things that like happen in comics would not happen.
Yeah, but in the DCU
So
they
Yeah,
try to
true.
keep it more grounded, and so far they have done that. So I don't know if they will completely change that.
I mean they did, but like there's still some things that like low key don't make sense. But like you just kind of brush it off. So like this is probably
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just don't think this is going to be that big a deal. I think because like I said, a lot of people when the set pics came out and saw the ring,
Yeah.
that more people were excited about it than
Yeah.
not. And like being instead of saying like, "Oh, how's that gonna work?" Like I literally saw nobody think about the logic of it and just like think of the reality of it, of how cool it is, and like with that detail. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of people think of the logic. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I'm definitely not one of them because I'm like, oh, it's a comic book movie. Like it's supposed to be this way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. What I'm really curious about is that a lot of these set photos show that this scene right here is in Central City. Now,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
how has Michael Keaton and how has Sasha Kala ended up in Ezra Miller's Central City? Maybe it's their Central City, a version in their world, or maybe somehow they've ended up in the main DCU timeline. That's something
That's
that
what
I'm
I'm trying to.
so curious about that to see what exactly is going on. Any theories from you guys?
I'm curious to see. Well, because Batfleck was confirmed for it too. I'm curious to see like how big of a role he's gonna play, and like when he's gonna play it, and like how it switchovers from him to Keaton. And like, of course, now that like Supergirl's a thing too in the movie, like I'm curious to see like how they handle that. I don't know. It's just like I think it's so cool. I love everything they're doing, but I'm also like not confused, but I'm just curious to see like how it's gonna be all put together. Cause I'm like, huh. Like I think like I said, like especially like Keaton, cause like let's say this is like I know like Zack Snyder's Justice League is like, not technically canon or whatever, some people say, but I still think it is. But I would be like, wouldn't Barry be like would know that, Ben Affleck's Batman's Batman, so he'd be like he wouldn't immediately be like, okay, this is Batman too. Like he'd be like, who are you? So I'm curious to see like that kind of take on it. Like you get what I'm trying to say when I say that? I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
making sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
yeah,
Okay, I wasn't
yeah.
sure if it was making sense.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sounded better in
No,
my head.
exactly.
So I
I
wanted to make sure.
completely understand what you're saying because how would I know that their plan is to bring in Keaton in this universe, but then we already have Batfleck, and it's supposed to be his goodbye, according to some people. So I don't know how they are doing that. Why would they bring in Keaton here when you already have a Batman? And what happens to Keaton's universe? That's kind of
Yeah.
strange to think about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like,
I'm like,
Why is
now
he
that I
leaving
guess
his
on the topic,
universe? That's the question.
mm,
I feel like well, it has something to do with like I don't want to say a Flashpoint paradox kind of thing, but like it has to be something with the
Yeah.
timeline that he somehow ends up in like that universe. And I think it's maybe I could be like so spot off when I say this, but like let's say I don't know, like you know how it is in Flashpoint, like with the why his Henry's in jail in the first place,
Yeah.
because they think he killed Nora. But so like maybe it's like the classic thing they did in Flashpoint where Barry tries to go back in time to save his mom, so they don't have to do this. And then like I guess he somehow ends up because of trying to go back instead of like Thomas Wayne, Batman kind of thing. Instead it happens with Michael Keaton's Batman and he ends up in his universe instead. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. I just like
mm,
I'm just trying to think of like the way that they're gonna handle it. Like especially like you said with this universe and like what happens to it. I don't know. There's so many possibilities and like we could have all these theories, but we're not gonna know until like 2022 when the movie's physically out and we're like in the theater
Yeah.
watching it.
I don't think it's as well thought out in terms of what Marvel are doing with the multiverse of badness and the Spider-Mans, because
Oh
like
God.
on the surface, do DC really have a plan for the aftermath of this movie? Because they're so reactionary and stuff like that, and then new discovery coming in, different executives coming in, different decision makers and stuff like that. So it's hard to see them actually having a plan right now. I hope so. It's a good, fun flash film. It brings in Michael Keaton and Supergirl, maybe some other characters. Maybe we get to see a different timeline, a different world, and stuff like that. So I'm intrigued by it. I'm excited by it, and I'm not going to be worried too much about the future of the DCU after because Warner Brothers don't seem to be too worried either. So I just hope Michael Keaton is respected and the Snyderverse is respected as well. And I'd love to see like the door open for Ben Affleck to return or for Henry Cavill. I just hope it's not a complete reset and says Ben Affleck never existed, Henry Cavill never existed, Grant Fisher never existed. I hope those things don't happen, and I don't think they will. So I'm looking forward to having a good time with these characters.
Oh no, I completely agree. Like I said, I'm just excited, for movies. I don't know. I've wanted DC to bring all these characters to life for years, and like it's the fact that it's like they're all getting their own like Flash is finally getting his own solo movie and stuff like that. It makes me really excited. So
And Anthony has a pretty good question for us. What do you think the idea of Michael Keaton playing
Keaton's trying to set up for Batman Beyond. I don't know. Like I said, we could say all these theories and stuff, but we won't know until we see it. So I don't know. Like, there's so many. Like, I don't know. I don't trying to think of him like as like a Nick Fury role. I don't know. I think the thing is like with movies, and I think the problem always with DC is like it was very hard to find an actor to commit, like let alone either playing Superman or Batman and stuff like that. So it's like very hard for an actor, commit to so many movies. So I think they're just kind of trying to do with what the best they can, I guess, in their own way. Even though like other people would argue and say, "Oh my god, it's shit" or whatever, or it's a disaster. Because like a lot of people want the Snyderverse restore, and I'm one of them too. But like, I think at the end of the day, as crazy as it sounds, like I think I'll like watch anything with DC because like I love them with all my heart. So, and like I've loved these characters for so long, and I just like I wanted them all to see to get representation on the big screen and be brought to life, in their stories. So I don't know. We shall see what's gonna happen with all that.
Yeah, another movie that's coming
Do you have
out.
any theories?
Oh,
Do you have any theories in that
well,
question?
no, I don't have anything to
Fake?
add. I agree with you guys. It's weird to think about it right now when we don't have anything, to base it on. There's no trailer or anything like that, so I don't know how that will fit in. Um, it's also not an exact Flashpoint adaptation, so we cannot say that he's going to be playing Thomas Wayne or a character like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's taking inspiration a lot from like Flashpoint Paradox and like I mean not Flashpoint Paradox, Flashpoint and the Button too. If you guys have read that,
No.
it was like a Batman. It was like a little small Batman arc that was like with Reverse Flash comes into the Batcave, and like because of that they like break the timeline and like basically it's like another version of Bruce meeting his father as Batman and like an alternate timeline that he dies in. So I don't know. I think because like a lot of people start saying that because when Andy posted the picture of Keaton's symbol, but with like the blood, it kind of looked like the cover of Button. Literally, it's like a smile. On the cover, it's Batman holding like a smiley face type of thing, and like I don't know, or like it's like a Watchmen kind of reference. So like I don't know. There's like so many probably inspiration it's taken from. I don't know. I don't want to say anything about what I think until I see a trailer, because like I don't know, they could. I don't know if they'll show everything that we know,
Yeah.
like kind of like how Spider-Man is too. Like everything they're doing with the multiverse in the news in No Way Home, like they're not going to show that in the trailer. They're not going to give that away. Like they want audiences to be surprised. So like I really think Warner Brothers is going to try to pull the same thing. I mean, yeah, we've seen. What was I gonna say? We've seen. Sorry. I keep losing my train of thought. We keep seeing, set pics of, Keaton on set, but like I don't think they're gonna show him the trailer until like we watch the movie, which I think is smart because you don't want to give like that much away, yet. I don't know.
I think he's definitely
I'm a
in the
person
first
that's like, I
trailer.
want to know more, but I also.
I think he's
Huh?
definitely in the first trailer. Like he's one of the biggest grabs for the movie, and WB always thinks of, they care more about getting people to watch their movies than the quality of their movies. So having Michael Keaton there first is definitely their priority. That's why they paid him. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Just
would
trying to
love if
30
they
years
hide
later, they
that
brought
stuff
back.
because I am someone who wants to wait for, to see it in the movie before, not see before the movie, but you know how marketing is these days. It's WB will definitely show that.
I don't know. I'm half and half. Like a part of me, it's like anticipation's killing me, and I'm just like I want to know so I don't have. So I can get rid of all these theories and like know like where they're gonna kind of go with it. But also the other part of me is like, no, don't tell me. I want to be so shocked as heck
Yeah.
in the theater and be like, oh my god. But I don't know. Like I think either way, depending on like knowing some of the things we know with the multiverse, I think we'll still be shocked. Too. I'm not even just talking about with DC, but like I keep going back to Spider-Man too because, like I said, they're both trying to do that whole multiverse thing, and I think that's really cool. I don't know. I've always been interested in that in like the comics and everything. So like I think that the fact that they're finally doing that in like live action is like so sick. And I think like general audiences are gonna think that's cool too, but like comic fans and like that like really know or like are really in for the treat about it because it's like, oh my god, like this is all connected.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like I remember in Spider-Man Far From Home when the trailer dropped and like they mentioned the multiverse, even though in that time it wasn't ended up not being real because everything with Mysterio. But I remember when they name dropped that, like just the word multiverse, like everyone was like in shambles because they're like, oh my god. So like, but it didn't happen until now. So I think that that's just like crazy. So you never know. Like we might think we know everything, like where they're going, but they could like surprise us. So like I said, yeah, we need to wait and see. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And another DC film that, in case you're excited about, I'm sure you are as well, Serena, is